Have you ever wondered why you can scroll your phone for 3 hours, but cannot sit still for 3 minutes with yourself? Silence, something that used to be normal, now becomes a terror of modern humans. Blaise Pascal, a genius mathematician, once said a chilling sentence: all of humanity's misfortunes stem from one thing. That is, they cannot sit still in a closed room, alone. Why does our brain fear stillness so much? In today's journey, we will together find the answer through 3 main parts. Part 1. The Art of Subtraction. Part 2. The Beauty of Imperfection. And Part 3. Stillness in Motion. This is the path going inward to find balance again. If you feel you are racing but do not see the finish line, please stay for a while so that we can go through today's journey together. The presence of you right now is exactly the motivation for me to share about the art of balanced living. Invite you to take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and we begin together. Part 1. The Art of Subtraction. Let us begin with a paradox. Why is it that the more we shop, the more we feel lacking? In the 18th century, philosopher Denis Diderot discovered the Diderot effect. When you buy a new shirt, you suddenly see the old pants no longer worthy of it. You buy new pants, then you see the old shoes look so outdated, and the shopping loop begins, never having a stop. Modern science explains it is due to dopamine, the neurotransmitter of desire. It promises joy, but never satisfies. It makes us run on a treadmill, hedonic treadmill, running forever but not reaching the destination. The East approaches happiness in the completely opposite direction. If the West is addition, then the East is subtraction. Subtraction. In Japanese culture, there is a core concept called MA, in English translated as negative space. I would like to explain clearly this concept. It is the void between all things. Look at an ink wash painting. The black ink part is the drawing, but the white paper part is exactly the negative space, is the soul of the painting. If there is no white space, the eye has no place to rest. The mind is suffocated, just like a room packed with furniture. There will be no room for light. A mind packed with desires, there will be no room for peace. Professor Mark Williams, from Oxford University, has proven that information overload shrinks the hippocampus region, where memory and emotions are stored. When we remove unnecessary things, severing from junk news, discarding toxic relationships, we are returning the space for the brain to heal itself. Lao Tzu, the great master of Taoism, wrote in the Tao Te Ching, to attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain Tao, subtract things every day. Subtract what? Subtract the arrogant ego. Subtract the comparison and envy. When you carve a stone to create a statue, you do not add anything to the stone. You only take away the redundant parts, and beauty reveals itself. Peace is the same. It is not something you go looking for. It is what remains after you have thrown away all the fake noise. Dear friend, amidst this messy life, is there any item or any worry that you have been holding tightly for too long? Please share those feelings in the comment section, because when you can write it out, you have begun to be able to let go. Philosophy part. Extreme wealth is not what you have in your hand, but that you can live happily When you have nothing. True happiness is when your mind is empty enough to contain the whole heaven and earth. Part 2. The beauty of imperfection. Let us together step into the second disease. A psychological disease that is silently destroying the peace of millions. That is the obsession with absolute perfection. Toxic perfectionism. Try observing an ordinary morning of yours. The first thing you do when you just open your eyes is what? Is it picking up the phone and scrolling social media? At that very moment, your brain is attacked incessantly by hundreds of images of grade 10 lives, luxury trips at 5-star resorts, toned bodies without a bit of excess fat, successful young entrepreneurs with brilliant life philosophies. In 1954, social psychologist Leon Festinger published a shocking study about human instinct. Social comparison theory. Social comparison theory. He pointed out that humans have a biological need to self-evaluate by comparing themselves with those around them. But the tragedy of the digital age lies in the fact that we are comparing the messy backstage, full of anxiety and fatigue, of our own, with the advertising clips that have been carefully edited of others. This giant discrepancy creates a psychological abyss. We feel inferior, feel like a failure, even though the reality is not so. We start to fear revealing the cracks, fear being seen making mistakes. We put on masks, use photo editing filter, to hide the truth. But the more we hide, the more we feel lonely inside that very perfect shell. Now, temporarily turn off the screen. Take a deep breath and look toward the east with me, especially in the tea rooms of Japanese Zen masters, where time seems to stop. Here exists a philosophy completely opposite to the glamour of the West. That is the philosophy Wabi Sabi. Wabi is the beauty of rusticness, of simple things. Sabi is the beauty of time, of fading over the years. The Japanese do not celebrate shiny and smooth things. They bow in respect to a distorted ceramic teacup, molded by hand, a mossy wall, mottled with stains of rain and sun, a skinny dry branch, having lost all its leaves in winter. Why do they find it beautiful? Because they understand the immutable law of the universe. Impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is perfect. And nothing is complete. Being able to accept the fading is the peak of tranquility. To most clearly demonstrate this, let us come to the art of Kintsugi, the art of mending with gold. This is not just handicraft. This is a profound lecture about rebirth from the ashes. Imagine with me, you have a precious bowl, passed down from generation to generation. One day, you accidentally drop it. Crash. A harsh sound echoes. The bowl shatters into pieces. Sharp ceramic fragments lying scattered on the floor. What is your first feeling? Pain, regret, and the first thought that appears is to throw it in the trash bin. Because in conventional thinking, what is broken is damage, is worthless waste. But the Kintsugi artist does not do that. They calmly sit down, gently picking up each fragment. They do not use super glue to hide the cracks in a hurry. They use a type of lacquer resin mixed with pure gold powder. Golden lacquer. They patiently join each piece one by one, waiting for the resin to dry, carefully polishing every line. This process is not fast at all. It takes months, longer than making a new bowl. If this story of mending is soothing your heart, even just a little bit. Please give this video a like button. Your support is like the connecting gold layer, helping the channel spread more strongly to the souls longing to be healed. Thank you very much. And what is the final result? When the bowl is finished being joined, it does not return to how it was. It transforms into a new work. The cracks that used to be the tragedy of breaking now become golden rivers, flowing over the ceramic body, shining brightly and full of pride. It is more beautiful, stronger, and 1,000 times more valuable compared to the original intact bowl. Why is it more valuable? Because it has a story. It has a history. It has gone through death to return to life. In modern psychology, researchers at the University of North Carolina call this the phenomenon of post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth. Humans do not just recover after an event, but also develop breakthroughs thanks to that very event. A heart that has never broken is an innocent heart. A heart that has shattered and mended itself is truly the empathetic heart. The East teaches us that do not try to become perfect. Be courageous to live truly with your own scars. Peace does not come from avoiding pain or pretending that you are okay. Peace comes from embracing that pain, accepting it as a part of yourself, and turning it into gold. Dear friend, now is the time for you to bravely look back at yourself. Look at the biggest scar in your life. It could be a failure in career, a breakup in love, or a past mistake. If you consider that scar as a Kintsugi golden grain, then the most precious lesson that it left for you is what? Please share your own mending story to inspire everyone below. Philosophy part. Never apologize for the scars or the tears, because those are the evidence showing that you have lived, have fought, and have survived in the most brilliant way. Peace is not a sky without storms. Peace is knowing that after the storm, the trees will be greener. Part 3. Stillness in motion. We come to the final part, and also the most difficult part. That is how to be peaceful when the world is still spinning. Westerners have a proverb: don't just stand there, do something. Don't just stand there, do something. Modern society celebrates busyness. We consider busyness as a prestigious medal. Hustle culture. Hustle culture teaches us that must strive with all our might, must brace ourselves to fight. Then we can achieve success. From a biological perspective, this lifestyle continuously activates the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system. The body is always in a state of fight or flight. Fight or flight. The concentration of cortisol and adrenaline is always at the ceiling level. What is the result? We are exhausted before touching the finish line. But the Eastern masters have a paradoxical philosophy. Don't do anything. Stand there. This is the thinking, the most profound, of Lao Tzu and Chuang Tzu. That is Wu Wei. Vo Vi. I must note to you, this is not a lazy attitude, nor is it giving up. Wu Wei is the state of attainment of the sages. When the individual ego dissolves, they integrate completely with the flow of the universe. They act, but do not feel they are acting. They do everything, but the mind is not attached to anything. For us ordinary people to easily imagine this state, modern neuroscience has found a similarity. That is the state of flow state. Flow state, studied by Professor Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. When a great piano artist is performing sublimely. They do not brace themselves at all. They forget themselves. They and the music become one. That is the moment. They lightly touch the threshold of Wu Wei. So how to apply it to life? Imagine water. Lao Tzu said, highest good is like water. Water is the softest thing. But nothing can triumph over water. When meeting a stone blocking the way, water does not stop to argue. Water does not brace itself to punch the stone. Water simply flows around it. Water follows the flow. But in the end, water still reaches the ocean. When you do not oppose circumstances, when you accept reality and follow it to handle things, you will save 90% of mental energy that others use to complain. That is the art of. The mind remains unchanged amidst a changing world. Dear friend, recall a moment in the past when you did something so passionately that you forgot time, forgot your own ego, and the result was good, beyond expectations. That was when you touched the flow of nature. Please share that magical experience of yours below, so that we can learn together the way to follow the flow. Philosophy part. Life is a river. The wise person never tries to swim against the current. They learn how to relax, to let the water support them. Peace is not standing still in one place. Peace is movement, in rhythm with the universe. Those who follow heaven survive. Those who oppose heaven perish. Conclusion. We have gone together a long way. But I want to tell you one last secret. All the above methods are not tools for you to run away from the world, but for you to return to yourself. Do not search for peace in a distant temple or an expensive resort. True peace lies right in the eye of the storm, lies right in the breath of yours right now. The world out there will never stop spinning. Pressure will never disappear. But you have the right to choose. Being a leaf swept by the wind, or being a boulder steady amidst the fast-flowing water. Power lies in your hands. Power lies in your mind. Turn your mind into a garden where the urban noise must stop at the gate to let stillness reign. And now, the choice belongs to you. If this video has touched your heart, do not let it pass wastefully. Take action immediately. Press the like button to confirm you are ready to change. Press subscribe and ring the notification bell to commit to going with me on the next awakening journey. And most importantly, please share this video to a friend who is struggling amidst the storm of life. Do not keep peace for yourself. Spread it. Goodbye and see you again. Wish you firm legs and soft stones. Peaceful mind, everything peaceful.